Hey, what's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? How's everybody going? Kev the Casual DJ back with you guys again. Back doing the phone thing again since my computer is pretty whack and slow as molasses. So chopping all over the place and doing pop locking and everything all over the place. So we're gonna hold off on that until I get the other computer. The other computers, well, it'll be new, of course, and this one has always been slow. Whatever. I don't want to go on all of that. Anyway. Hey, we're at day 15. We're at the halfway point here. Hey, AJ, how's it going now? AJ's in the house. AJ's hanging. We going. We're at day 15. We're trying. We're getting there. We're halfway over the hump there. So we're getting there. Hadn't been that bad. A lot of stuff come up, but we're getting there. But I'm back on the phone thing again because it's just way smoother than the computer, which is horribly slow. Which I knew it was. I tried to give it a shot. Whatever. I'm finna get another one. It'll be a little minute before I get another computer. Anyway, forget all that. It's day 15, halfway point, and all that type of stuff. Thanks a lot, AJ. Halfway point in there of the challenge here. We're gonna make it through this thing. We're gonna do this. I believe we can do this. I'm like Robert, what's his name? Like R. Kelly. I believe I can fly. We're going to do this. But anyway, I just wanted to go into some. I was going to go into a little bit more business related stuff about, what was it? I forgot what it was because I got a whole bunch of stuff here. But I was like, well, let me go back into something a little bit more general or whatever. And this is kind of, I don't want to say it's philosophical and esoteric. It kind of is. But it's some powerful stuff to think of and put on your mind. And there's some discussion worthy stuff, because a lot of things that we do every day, we take them for granted. There's a lot going on with what we do and why we do what we do, and why the things happen that we do as we do. So it can seem simple, and it is, depending on how you look at it. But, there are a lot of other things going on beneath the surface or below the surface. And at times you can reflect on certain things, or you take your time out to mentally go to another place and reflect on stuff, and it helps you build up your appreciation for what's going on, and even build up an emotion or a passion for what's going on, and even a purpose, because we live life fast. The days go by quick, but sometimes we have to slow down for a minute and see what's going on the simple things, that if we look into them deeper, that they're more powerful, they're more profound, and there's something that we can take the time to reflect on in a moment. That's not that deep. It's not way philosophical, but it's a little bit deeper than we normally think. But anyway, so it's just talking about going to work every day. It's an emotional decision. And it's one of the notes I had. I decided to go to this one, which is more general instead of the more business related one, which I'll come back to, probably tomorrow and go deeper into that. But going to work every day is an emotional decision. I guess everybody kind of probably knows that. Basically, I just boiled it down to two things. Number one, you do, and this is a very simple way of looking at it. Number one, you do what you do. Whatever you're going to do, you're either going to do it or you're not. Pretty simple. Number one. Number two, things happen. Now, things happen is outside of your control. Stuff is going on out here. You can't control all of that. Car running, this, that, stuff, things falling, whatever. You can't control that. So look at those two things. You do what you do. That's your choices, your actions, your emotions and responses, and your decisions. And things happen. Stuff going on around you. Now, that's how we see things on an everyday automatic basis. So we don't even think about this stuff. We're on an automatic surface level, consciously, unconsciously, subconsciously, whatever. All of us do that. And you can look at that from another point of view, which is way more philosophical. Be, do, and have. And I first heard that when I read a book from, and I recommend everybody do some reading. I mean, some people don't like it or whatever. It's like some kind of a chore, but it's really mind opening. I've always been a reader since I was a kid. I go to the library while everybody else was playing ball, and I had just as much fun at the library that they had on the ball court. But that's another story. Reading opens up another whole world. If you have a purpose for what it is, for what you're reading, and a passion for it. But anyway, the book from Robert Kiyosaki. The one that I first read was The Cash Flow Quadrant. He did Rich Dad, Poor Dad, which is his first big book. I didn't read that first. I read it second. I read the Cash Flow Quadrant. And one of the first things I saw in there that he said that makes so much sense, and that was like over 10 years ago, 15 years ago, be, do, have. That means if you want to have something, you need to be something different. Do what it takes, while you're being that. And then you'll have the things that come from being and doing. You'll have those things. Simple stuff now, But like I said, it gets a little bit deep. And one of the things about be, do, and have, you have to make a decision to put in some work. That's why I say going to work every day is an emotional decision. You have to decide to put in some type of work to get what you want to do. Losing weight, whatever, dating, buying a house, graduating college. All of us go through this. Passing a math class in high school, all of us go through this. But on different levels and different things, we may not apply what we already did in one area to a new area. But anyway, you got to put some work in. Now, it might be conscious, it might be unconscious. You may have an automatic resistance to doing that. What it's going to take? You know, it's going to take a lot, or it's going to take something out of you. You may be hesitant to it. You're not used to it. Maybe it may feel strange. You may know how to respond to it. You may not be accustomed to it. May not be prepared to it. For that, that's why the group thing. Now, this is not the only thing, but one thing that does help with you just sitting there making a decision by yourself is the group thing, which I kind of emphasize. The group thing is so important. That's why the group thing is important, and why the team thing is so important. The classroom thing, you see, these are all groups, are so important. The team, the group, and the classroom. Those are things and ideas that if they're used correctly, and those are things and ideas that we're all used to. We may not apply it in certain things, in certain areas, but we're used to being on part of some kind of team at some point in our lives, at work or whatever. In the classroom, that's a group setting, or just typically a group. Now let's go back to the small business thing for a minute as an example. If you're self-employed, a small business owner, for most of us, that's kind of a strange concept because a lot of us come from the employee-minded background, or an employee mentality background. Doesn't mean that we're dumb or we're stupid or we're idiots or whatever. Intellectually, we get it. We understand things intellectually. But the actual process itself, a lot of times it's foreign to us. Now, it doesn't mean it have to be simple or complex and all that type of stuff. Just like I said about going to work every day, what it boils down to is making the emotional decision and the emotional connection to do it, which means it boils down to deciding to do it, making a decision to do it. Okay, for example, what's today? Today is Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, whatever day it is. Maybe you hear all of this stuff. Maybe we go into a deep discussion on this. We go into 7 points for this and 7 keys. We get all deep. Now, here's what happens a lot of times. It sounds good. It sounds good. It sounds intriguing, interesting, or whatever you want to call it. And then it might even get us excited, maybe. Okay, if that's an emotion, we get excited. But the thing is, the excitement is a temporary emotion. It's almost entertainment. It's almost entertainment a lot of times. Now, but the thing is, it's going to involve work. Now, work, the concept of it does not sound exciting. It doesn't sound exciting. It's not a feel-good thing. We work jobs, we work this, or we work to clean the house, or whatever we do. It doesn't sound exciting. Now, it may take some time to build things up. It may take some time to build up steam. It may take some momentum. But the fact that it involves work and might involve some difficulties is something that does not make us feel good when we hear that, even though we know that's how life is on whatever we're doing. And it doesn't get us all, pumped up and juiced up or whatever. That's why sales, which I don't have no problem with sales. I kind of don't like sales, at least the sales business. But sales, when people are trying to sell you something, they have to make it sound as good as possible. They bring up all the benefits, all of the stuff, make it sound as inviting and delicious and exciting as possible so they can get you to buy what they're selling. Even if you ain't paying money, you're just paying time or whatever you're doing. They have to get you to buy it. But if they tell you the real story of the ups and the downs, it doesn't always excite you. Now, investment, that's another thing. Investment, although it doesn't have to be money, it could be time or whatever. Investment really just means the price that you're willing and prepared to pay for whatever your dream is, your goal is that you want to achieve or accomplish. It might be time, energy, attention, labor, creativity, ingenuity, problem solving, providing value, whatever you have to pay, or if it might be even money, you have to pay a price. That doesn't sound cute and exciting. A price, work, and an investment. Although you can achieve your dreams or goals or whatever it is. And what is it that's going to, it may, be the cost or the price for, like I just mentioned, time, energy, attention, labor, creativity, all that type of stuff. Now, if you have a full and complete understanding of all of that, that means after hearing how great it'll be, which it will be great, once you graduate that class or you get that job and you get the position and you get the stuff that's going to happen from that job, you're going to feel good, but that's on down the road. You will feel good. So it'll be worth it. But the stuff you have to go through to get to that, some of it is exciting, or at least some of it is exciting, but most of it on the day-to-day basis is not exciting or whatever. But you just want to keep it real. So rather than talking about it, dreaming about it, fantasizing about it, wishing about it, reading about it, or whatever it is, we get so used to I was relating this to the little job thing, or the job, what do you want to call it? The job comparison. We get so used to and so accustomed, many of us, most of us, or a lot of us, we get programmed into someone accepting a job offer from an employer or whatever. We're conditioned to have that type of response, where most people are like that. I call it the masses. And when you think of masses, you don't think of individuals like John, Susan, Billy John. He got kids. She's got a wife. You don't think of an individual. Masses means millions of people. Masses is like a faceless mass of society. And we become conditioned as part of this faceless mass of society. And sometimes, and when we get programmed from that, from childhood, from our cultures or whatever it is, our habits, our experiences, whatever we've been through. So we get programmed from that. And it becomes difficult to deprogram ourselves or allow someone else to deprogram us, not to scam us or lie to us or fool us, but to get deprogrammed from the mass crowd thinking and the group thinking. And sometimes we can't shake ourselves out of that program or that mentality. Now, that's group thinking. Now, is that a contradictory to this whole group thing where we're all going to do this? Well, that's the thing about life. I mean, to do stuff is, I guess they call it not a paradigm. What do they call it? A paradox. Hey, how's it going, Sherry? We're on day 15. 30-day challenge still going. We're getting a little bit somewhat, not philosophical, but a little bit esoteric slightly tonight, rather than the nuts and bolts strategies or what have you. But we're talking about what it takes to get things done and comparing it to going to work every day is an emotional decision. And making those decisions. And it comes from like accountability, different types of accountability, self-accountability, self-motivation, all that type of stuff. And then there's group accountability and then external accountability at the job. If something happens and we can't do what we need to do, we can't be there, or we can't perform like we want to, there's an external accountability. For most things, we paying the light bill and we don't pay that light bill. What's up, Sherry? STL in the house. STL representing. But those are three types of accountability. Either a self-accountability, a group accountability, which is still external, or an external accountability. And they all have a place. They all have a role to play. And the group accountability is kind of what we focus on. So that's not our paradox is the word I was trying to think of a minute ago, and I couldn't think of the word. Where, how do you define a paradox? I don't have my Webster's in front of me, but a paradox is just something that's is almost kind of seem like it's somewhat contradictory, almost, but they kind of work hand in hand. It's kind of like if you want the good stuff, you got to go through some bad to get to the good or whatever. You gotta slay the dragon in order to marry the princess or whatever. That type of thing. Whatever. We're not getting too deep into that. But so the group or the team, the classroom setting or the classroom style or the team or the group style with group accountability is also it's very powerful because we have a team behind us. But at the same time, we also have individual accountability, external accountability. From peers in our group, either peers, mentors, coaches, students, fellow students, clients, customers, whoever we have in our group or our team setting or whatever, that type of accountability to do what we need to do. Like I said, going to work every day is an emotional decision. And this classroom method, this classroom effect is extremely powerful because we all can probably attest to having went to school for a few years, have we, even if we didn't finish or graduate. But that it does have an effect. Now there are some flaws to it because of the type of class that you go to, and you know, different little minutia about what's going on with a specific class. But the overall classroom effect is powerful, because as a team, you got camaraderie, you got external accountability, group accountability, and you got self accountability. But anyway, like I said, we're getting a little bit esoteric or whatever. But I kind of wanted to go a little bit more in the esoteric route a little bit, because it has you, or it kind of, I won't say it forces you, but I guess it does kind of force you to kind of look inward and look at a little bit more of a complex viewpoint on some of the simple things that we do every day, like going to work on an everyday basis. And we do that because we have responsibilities, take self-discipline, and we have accountability. Self-accountability and external accountability. So we do that. So we can apply that stuff that we do, you know, in other areas of life, in little simple things that we do that we've been successful at. We can apply those in another area where maybe it's something new or something different that we're not used to, and apply those same successes or those same success points that we did to, you know, to be great back in football when we were in school or whatever, or in ballet class or whatever we were, or whatever it is that we've been through, that we've done in some other area that we succeeded in with this same stuff I'm talking about. So that can apply in other areas. And I saw another guy's post. He was talking about motivational stuff, and he was kind of criticizing it, because there are some critics to it. I mean, hey, it is what it is. I ain't mad at him. But anyway, there are some critics to the whole motivational thing, movement or whatever. You're talking about Tony Robbins and this and that, and why he stopped listening. And he boiled it down. It was a long article, and he boiled it down to three things. You know, he boiled it down to, number one, was scam artists. You know, a lot of the guys are scam artists or lying or whatever they were doing, running game, con and stuff like that, slick type, talking type dudes. The second thing was that they weren't licensed, psychologist type people, or psychotherapists or psychoanalysts and all that type of thing. And I forget what the third one was. And the third one, what was the third thing that happened on that article? I'll see if I can find that link on that. It's a long read. I didn't even read it all, but I looked at his conclusions, and that's how I wanted to get to the bottom line of what his conclusions were. And all that stuff that he said, you know, I really didn't have no problem with it. You know, it's an opinion. Hey, whatever is, that's how you feel. That's fine. But you know, my thing is that you have to go with the results and what works and the reason why you would do that anyway. My expectation when the challenge is complete. For this one, it's to kind of get me out of the box, or whatever you want to call this, on this specific challenge, this video thing or whatever. And it's basically the same accountability thing. Getting it done, sticking to it, consistency, persistence, nothing big or major, not externally, but internally, some huge leaps and bounds. That's why I like the whole 30-day challenge concept, 60 and 90-day challenge concept, because for many, many reasons, they work pretty good, you know, and it depends on what it is that you're doing. You know, you can apply the different stuff that you're doing, but because I was going to go into this another day, I forgot one of the other videos I was going to do, and it was talking about, matter of fact, I think I did go into a little bit about the point and purpose of the whole 30-day. Oh, I know what happened. I did it on the radio show. The whole point and purpose of the whole challenge thing, and it really goes into your reason why you want to do any type of challenge. And your reason why has to be, for some people it won't do no good, but your reason why has to be that you are open to self-improvement, success development, and personal development. You have to be open to that idea. And that means that you're trying to do something, no matter what it is. You're trying to do something to improve yourself or to grow. And a lot of people's mindset is not geared towards doing something to grow. For that, one thing is on the minor end anyway, or one just example, It's just to be back again for the showings, or for the viewing. What do you call them? For the broadcast, rather. Hey, what's up, Marvin? Mariana's in the house. The old Mariana guys, yeah. What's up, guys? Just doing my thing again. We had a lengthy discussion the other night about old times and everything. You know, we got a lot of old schoolmates on here and everything. But yeah, that's a beginning aspect of it. And it's not just me. It's we're doing this to keep each other accountable, because it's a group setting or a community. So if we want to be involved and play a role within the community, there's different things we can do to play a role within the community. What each person in the community wants to do for themselves and what they want to do for the group. That's what the whole thing yesterday, when it kept, my thing kept going out, my computer kept acting a fool. What's up, Marvin? Hey, man, just doing my thing, man. This is a 30-day challenge. This is a 30-day video challenge. And, it's just, I'm doing this as part of my little, campaign that I have going for, business, for group economics movement, some things I have going, but I invite other people to join me for themselves so that they can, do something for themselves too. We'll join in that and do something for themselves, their own goals, whatever their goals are. Personal development, self-improvement, self-growth, financial, economic, relationship, health, all that type of stuff, so it kind of encompasses all of that. And that's what I was saying about the reason why, because if a person doesn't have a reason why, they call it the big why. And I have a thing called the 7 whys. It's like a little note thing. The 7 whys, I go into a whole big thing about the 7 whys. But a person has to have a reason why that they feel the need, or the, what do you want to call it? The, making it a must. Not that it's just something cute to do, but it's something that they really got to do. Hey, what's up, Cleo? So it goes into if the person is open to, hey, I want to do something that's going to be part of my self-growth, part of my self-development, my self-improvement, and continue and to do that. And if a person has that mindset, so yeah, I'm willing to do that. Well, then it's a matter of, okay, well, what area do you want to do this in? If that's your general idea, and how the different ways to do that. And you're opening the door. But if that door is closed, then it ain't going to happen anyway. It ain't going to happen anyway. And that was kind of my answer to that dude's criticism, to the guy's criticism, And like I said, I ain't got no problem with it. He's right. There's some, I remember what the third thing was. It was that it was kind of emotional candy, which I agree with. A lot of the self-help, self-development stuff is emotional candy. And I have a whole thing about the emotional candy thing. That's why, to me, the whole motivational tag is, I won't say it's misleading, but it doesn't really do anything. The best tag to look at it for me is, like I said, self-improvement, self-growth, or success development, or success management. So that way they're real things that are coming out of it, as opposed to just emotional entertainment, emotional candy. And it can be that. It can even be addictive, and you just hooked on the stuff, But like I said, this is stuff tonight is kind of esoteric a little bit. It's kind of a little bit more intangible. The stuff we talk about today, the inner game type stuff. But this is some stuff that it makes for a good discussion, because it causes you to look inward, to look deeper, to look inward, to look at some of the simple things that you're doing, or may take for granted, or whatever, because we take a lot of stuff for granted as we walk on this planet and breathe in this air on a day-to-day basis. I just heard about this McCain guy today, about what's his name, John McCain, just got diagnosed with brain cancer, and that type of stuff is like a cold chill, because I had a friend in Chicago that was diagnosed with brain candy. Oh yeah, that's what I call it, man. I agree wholeheartedly with him on that. He has some criticisms, and you got a criticism, I'm going to give you your props on whatever you say. That's, if it's real, it's real, because I don't like to hype stuff up. But I just heard about the man today got diagnosed with brain cancer. So a lot of the simple things, we just do it on a day-to-day basis. We blow it off and think nothing about it, or whatever. But sometimes we have to slow down and reflect on certain things. That changes our mind state by taking that time to reflect. And then after reflection, we can be compelled to do something about the thing that we've put our mind to. Not just thinking about stuff. That's why I say growth, because you don't grow by thinking, or self-improvement, because it starts with thinking. It starts with thinking. Yeah, it starts with feeling good and getting, high-fiving and stuff and cheerleading. It starts there. But the objective is to grow. You have to actually grow by doing something. I don't care if it's muscle growth. I don't care what kind of growth it is. Something has to grow. Something has to improve. Now, some people don't want to improve. Okay, cool. I'm not mad at you. I'm not mad at you. This is America. It's a free country. Do your thing. Knock yourself out. You do not have to grow, and you do not have to improve. You have no desire to do that. Then the convo is ended. Hey, I ain't mad at you. But, for those who are open to that concept, there's ways that they can do that, But that was my answer without going into a debate, because there's endless debates on Facebook and social media. There's a lot of different debates on different subjects, and different sides have merit to both sides. If people get two sides of an argument, both sides may have some merit. It just depends on which side is important to you. And in my opinion, which side is more, I call it two things. This even goes with politics. Two things I call it. You got to have some consistency, because people do inconsistent things, and that kind of destroys everything you're talking about, because not what you say is inconsistent, but what you do is inconsistent. You have to be in consistency of the first part. And then the second part is effectiveness. That whatever solution you have has to be effective. It has to do something effectively. If it's ineffective, and you debating, this side debating, that side debating, everybody got this big debate and all this, and you might win the debate. I don't really care about winning the debates. That's like I might have messed up about debates. My thing is solving problems, solution oriented, solving a problem, not winning a debate. Because winning a debate, you just win an argument. And a lot of people are skilled in winning arguments, but that don't mean nothing as far as actually solving the problem. Oh yeah. That's why I say these things are powerful. They're very powerful, man. They are. That's why I invite people to actually try them. And 30 days is not a long time. They even have 10-day challenges or 21-day challenges. Like Gather Job, he wants to do one on his eating, on his what is he gonna do? I think it's meat. Yeah. And I did that a long time ago. I did that a while back with I did that with the vegetables. What was it called? Raw foods. It was called Raw Foods. And had never really heard anything about it. I mean, I've heard of vegetarians. I didn't know nothing about it. And when I went through that raw foods thing, it's just, wow, it was amazing. After 10 days, I learned a whole lot of stuff about you just see things differently because you're trying to improve yourself in some realm. You're attempting to improve yourself. So, like I said, that dude's article, his little post or whatever, it was actually an article, I understood what he was saying. As far as with the scam artists and con artists, I ain't really messed up about scam artists and con artists because there's scam artists and con artists everywhere. So, whatever they're saying, if it's working, which is solving a problem, if it's solving a problem and actually getting growth and improvement out of it, but he wants to steal and lie and run game, I don't really get hung up on that individual, because that's another thing. We get hung up on personalities and individuals instead of actually what the actual movement is about. So that if we do run across a goofball scam artist, or whoever this dude is, and this applies to all type of stuff, whoever this scam dude or whatever he cheating with his wife or whatever this dude has done, the platform that dude or the movement that dude laid down had a whole lot, or hopefully it had a whole lot of merit to it. So why is it discounted? Because the leader was an idiot, I would encourage someone else in the challenge, just get them some information on how they could do it, to keep it going, because I love to encourage people on challenge. I've always liked that. Anytime I feel like one thing I like is when people that are like, what do you call those people? They're like addicts. What do you call it? They're recovering. That's what it's called. People who are, two things. People who are recovering addicts, or people who are on some kind of a weight thing, like they weight loss or something like that or whatever. And usually they go around, they eating certain foods, or they're recovering addict. They don't just announce that they're a recovering addict, but it might come up in conversation or whatever, or you just may happen to know that they're recovering. And maybe they just started, like last month or 2 months ago or whatever. I've always loved to see that, because those two individuals and those two examples, they're going on the road, on the journey, and they changing stuff. They doing all types of stuff. They doing stuff that they haven't, done in, whatever before in life or whatever. And that's why I always use that analogy, because I have something called my 18 analogies that I use, and they're just teaching tools, illustration tools, example tools or whatever, but they're powerful. And one of the analogies I love to use is the 12-step program. And the 12-step program, whether you're on dope or not, the way that thing is structured is beautiful, regardless of whatever you are, an alcoholic or whatever you are. And they do that in a group setting. The way the whole thing is structured. Some woman founded the thing back in the 30s, I think. I believe it was discovered, as far as getting into the history of it, back in the 30s. I ain't never been on these substance abuse, but I've been around so many people who either already are substance abusers or have been through substance abuse and have beat it or whatever. So any type of challenge like that, basically, yeah, if they're doing it, they need all that encouragement. It's the courage to keep going for it, keep doing your thing. It's, just keep doing it, whatever type of roadblocks they go through, whatever type of stumbles they go through, they're putting in work. That's how I was saying it the first half. Going to work every day is an emotional decision. The salesmen or the con men or whatever, they give you all the hype about reaching your goal, doing what you're going to do. Oh, you're going to make $1 million. Oh, you're going to lose 40 pounds. Oh, you're going to get all the girls. Oh, you're going to, you're going to get this great house, whatever. And they sell you on that. Ain't nothing wrong with sales. Sales is cool. I just hate hype. They sometimes don't focus enough on the actual work that it'll take to do that and the day-to-day work. That 12-step thing focuses on that. It focuses on the actual day-to-day process, and it encourages you, and all that to keep going and whatnot. But it acknowledges it's got like little stuff built in for all of your little what you call it, your little, bumps and bruises that you may go through. Hey, Miss Chris, what's up? What's up? Pizza Hut in the house. Pizza Hut represent. Hey, we on day 15. We're on day 15. So, hey, we're getting this thing done. We're going to do this thing. But we're talking about a little deep stuff today, a little sort of like esoteric philosophical type stuff today without any business details and all that type of stuff. But it is the behind the scenes details that goes into what you have to do to keep going, to do the actual work, and that it's an emotional decision, and it takes accountability. Group accountability, self-accountability, and external accountability. Hey, what's up? What's up? You representing the P-Hut, the Hut people in the house represented. But yeah, that's kind of what I wanted to get on. And I remember seeing that dude's article, and like I said, and I've met people that feel that way. I'm like, all right, well, because I have another thing that talks about why that you want to be, I hate to use the word motivated, but why that personal development stuff is great on a daily basis. It has some merit to it. It has a reason and a goal, and it does something more than just emotional candy, which it can be, because you just, you don't do anything and you get stuck with that emotional candy. This is what I call it, because it feels good. It tastes good, and for about 2 minutes or a day or so or a few hours, you feel on top of the world. Then Monday morning comes and you right back to your same old, same old. It's like the dude that said, I'm going to stop beating my wife, or I'm going to stop doing this, I'm going to stop doing that. And then he goes right back to doing the same old stuff, or whatever. So but I love that 12-step program thing. I love this 12-step analogy. And I call this other one like the 12-step rehab program. I gotta find it. I forget what name I call it. Poverty rehab program for poverty and failure. The 12-step program to beating that and just going through and this is just following the whole thing. There's some deep stuff to it, But anyway, yeah, I just kind of want to get on that a little bit today. Get back into the little business stuff tomorrow. I guess I'll go back into that presentation about the small business, what's it called? Small Business Financing Program. And kind of get on that a little bit tomorrow, what that's about. But like I said, if people, are looking to join the movement, get on the email list. Once this thing is done, hopefully by next week, should be by next week, the platform will kind of be up and ready. I've got to get with my, what's his name? My, merchant account homeboy. He's on here somewhere. Ray, we real cool. He's into the merchant account. So there's some back-scene technical stuff that's got to be done. But the movement can begin right now. We can support each other. And I got some Facebook groups that I begin the Facebook group going, and that will be a discussion point, and as well as the radio show is where people can either call in and you have another discussion point. So all this is group related, It's group related. It's individual, but it's group and team and community and classroom related. There's power in groups, teams, communities, and classrooms. All this stuff is powerful. But yeah, so that's a cash flow list builders is the email list that to sign up with. People are getting on that. Cash Flow Hustles Radio. That's a radio show where we get to try to do the right now they're pre-recorded. But, if we will begin doing those live, and those are pretty much be like just the results, reviews and updates of what people are doing. This person doing that, this person doing this person doing that, encouraging this person, encouraging that person, and everybody has a story. This person has this story. That person has that story. This guy has this story, Once again, the power of teams, groups, and communities. Everybody has a role to play. Everybody's got duties. Everybody has a job to do. Everybody has something as a responsibility in a community. Not to, as well as being an audience, being supportive, being encouraging for each other, for their sponsors, for their vendors, for the people who paying the money, the products, for your coaches and mentors, for your fellow students, for your brand new clients, customers, all that stuff. All those people can be interested. That's all part of the community. That's all part of the community. But yeah, I'll be getting a group together, Facebook group together, so that and kind of organize it in structure where it can be participatory. So each person who has their own story and their own situation and stuff can be, involved in that and can play a role in that. But anyway, that's about it for tonight. I got into a couple of the little CFH concepts and whatnot, some of the Cash Flow Hustles concepts a little bit, and I went into some of that. I'll put this note up, the link to it and everything, and everybody can look at that. I'll probably put it into a PDF, I guess, so you can download it too. Yeah, going to work every day is an emotional decision. It is self-accountability, external accountability, and group accountability. That's what comes into play when we just do simple stuff like getting up, heading into the job. A simple thing like that, but we look deeper into things and we can reflect on what that's about and why we do what we do, and then apply it to other things, and then we need to take time out to reflect on certain stuff, because some stuff we don't take time out to reflect. We so busy running and doing and trying to be entertained and consumed that we don't reflect and remind ourselves of what's going on. And that helps with what Tony Robbins was saying. In addition to success, there's fulfillment. Success is achievement and accomplishment. Fulfillment is actually enjoying it. And a lot of people who even achieve success, they do not enjoy what they've achieved. How many rich people we know that are miserable? They're miserable. Or people that win sports or people that do whatever they do, and they're miserable. That's because their life is not fulfilled. So fulfillment means you have to slow down and take the time to actually be fulfilled by what you're doing. Not just piling up money or whatever, but being fulfilled in life. It gets deep. It gets deep. I get into a whole lot of stuff like this, but I just go back and forth to different subjects and what have you. So this is one of the subjects I have. So I'll put the link up to the note and, the email thing, the radio show, and the Facebook group. We're probably gonna get that going probably by tomorrow, I guess, or whatever. And, so people can be organized to, have a meeting place for the community to get together and do their challenges. 30-day challenge, everybody can do that. It don't have to be video challenge. It can be whatever type. Don't have to. There's all types of 30-day challenges, all types of stuff. But yeah, thanks for everybody for checking me out. This is Cab the Cash Flow DJ with Cash Flow Hustles Radio coming back at you. Join the group economics movement at cashflowlistbuilders.com. And the group economics movement will be coming soon, but we are starting the support right now, the support for that movement, so that everybody can be on board, start thinking about projects that you may want to see or to post, or that you want to see finance, or that you want to see somebody do, and you get enough of y'all together and you can get it popping. That's what the whole thing is about, just getting things done. DON done. Okay, I'm out. It's Cab the Cash with DJ. I'm going to holler at y'all. It's day 15. Thanks a lot. I'm going to catch y'all on the next one. Peace.